Hi students, this is a video tutorial about how to write your American Exceptionalism research paper, and this is pretty much an overview, and I'm going to be providing some more specific kind of mini tutorials about little parts about your paper. And as always, please feel free to email me, and if I don't get back to you within like 24 hours, please email me again. I've been getting a lot of student emails and sometimes things get lost in my inbox throughout my day. So I'm trying to keep up with it, but I'm always a little worried of forgetting something. Okay. If you go to this document that I have posted with your assignment and with this video tutorial, you can scroll down. And on the second page, I've compiled a hyperdoc link with all these links for you for resources. And over the next week, I'm going to add a lot more video tutorials that I've put together for you too. So if you prefer videos and you prefer me teaching you what to do, I will have those for you. So you can access those. Okay, I'm going to head over to our modeled example paper. And I have to switch over tabs with Screencastify, so that kind of takes a minute, and my internet is really slow tonight. So here we are. Okay. So this is an example of a student paper that was written last year. That was really great. And as you go to look at my PDF, you can see all my comments too that explains what you need to do. And again, for some of these parts, I'm going to make just a quick video tutorial that kind of models how you would do some of these formatting issues on your Google Docs. Okay, so let's zoom in here. Okay, the first page of your paper is going to look like this, and we are following APA format. And any of these kind of research paper formats for citations that colleges use, they really are just a bunch of really nitpicky rules. But like I think I told you in one of the classes I took last year, I had a teacher take off 10 points because I didn't capitalize the titles correctly on my works cited page. A lot of professors like to be super, super picky on just like really little parts of this. So you really need to be exact and follow it all. And it's really a matter of kind of following a checklist of things to do. So in the header of your paper, you're going on the first page, you're going to write running head, and that's going to have a capital R and then lowercase letters. And then you're going to put a summary of your topic, and you're going to put that all in capital letters. And then you're going to have your page number over here. And my comment kind of is a little more specific about how you do that. But again, I'm going to provide you with a mini tutorial on that as well. Then in the middle of the page, you're going to align everything in the center. You're going to have a full title for your paper. You're going to have your name, and then you're going to put Ivy Tech Community College. This all needs to be double spaced, and this all needs to be Times New Roman. Also, you're going to need to change your header to Times New Roman 2. That's not the default. And if you change your body of your paper, it's not going to automatically change your header. Okay. On the second page of your paper, you are going to change your header then and not have running head. You're just going to have in all caps a summary of your paper topic and then the second page over here. Again, I'm going to show you in a video tutorial how you can make your first page different than your second page because it's a little tricky. Then at the top of the page in center alignment, you're going to put the word abstract with a capital A. And then you're going to change your alignment then to justify to the left. And you're going to write a really brief summary of your argument here. And abstract is just a way to write like a shortened aspect of your research. So the length that you see here is about how long it should be. It was really fairly short. You're going to have something that talks about your thesis statement, a summary of your research, and then how you limited the scope of this paper. So for this particular paper, they looked at public college tuition price and graduation rates. They didn't include private colleges. So you're explaining how you limited your research. Again, I have more detailed comments here that you can look at if you need to. This is all double spaced. You don't add an extra space here. You just keep it all double spaced. Then you're going to double space again. This person actually put an extra space in here that shouldn't have happened. I'm sorry, I'm yawning. It's really late. I have to do these things after my girls get to bed, so I'm sorry. Okay, then you're going to write keywords. That's going to be capitalized and in italics. And then you're going to put like some, to put them in modern language, you're kind of hashtagging it with the topics that this paper has to deal with. I don't think hashtags like you all use hashtags, like not like hashtags to be funny, like just like hashtags that keep track of what your main research is. I just realized that I might be speaking a foreign language the way I'm using those terms. Okay, and these don't get capitalized unless you have, and they don't get italicized. They don't get capitalized unless you're dealing with a proper noun like American here. Okay, that is your second page. Your third page is where you actually start your paper. And that's why you have a word count and not a page number count here. Okay, again, you're keeping this kind of header for the rest of your paper. And then you're going to start with your introduction. In your introduction, you're going to have an attention getter. You're going to have your thesis statement. You're going to preview some of your main points in your research. That should be in your outline. I'm going to provide you with another modeled example here, but this is a really, really good, this whole paper is really excellent, and this is a really good introductory paragraph. Okay, then you're going to provide some background and context here. That's what this section is. And you're using the Toolman method here. So you have your claim, you have your evidence, you have your explanation, then you bring in some more evidence and explanation, and you go back and forth until you've covered the amount of information you need in your paragraph. You are going to cite every piece of information that you have, and I'm going to have a shorter video tutorial on that, but there's a couple different ways you can do that. One of the ways is to just do parenthetical citations, and that's when you use a parentheses. So you have your information from your article, and then you just put a parentheses, the author's last name, comma, and the year. And then you're going to put your period at the end. You're not going to put a period here at the end of the sentence. This becomes part of the sentence. It's really important that you have the commas and the year. I'll talk later about what and give you more specifics on what you need to do if you don't have an author's name, or if you don't have a date, or if you need a page number and things like that. Okay. And notice, this isn't a direct quotation. You need to cite things that are even just information from your article and not direct quotations. So again, I'll provide you with a video tutorial on citations more specifically, but any information you get from your research needs to be cited even if you're putting it into your own words. Otherwise, you are plagiarizing. Even if it's your own words, if it's information from other people, then and you're not citing it, then that is plagiarism. Okay, again, we have some more evidence here. You're going to cite each piece of information for each sentence as you go. In MLA format, it's slightly different, but in APA format, you're going to keep repeating the same source as long as you keep using it in different sentences. Okay. And your explanation is just kind of build on why that's a significant piece of information and what you're trying to say, like what's important about the context here. Okay. This person also used some transitions here, like the words also. We have a direct quotation here. And then again, we don't put a period here inside the quotation mark. Instead, we put our parentheses and a period at the end here. And notice this comes from an internet article. So the person also cited what paragraph it comes from, and it used PARA and the number of paragraph here. If you have a lot of paragraphs, you're just going to have to go through and count them. Okay, that's only for online articles. It's not for journal articles that you found online. So don't worry about the PDFs. Okay. If you have no author listed, you're going to put the article title in quotation marks instead, and then put the year number. So that's how you deal with that. Again, I'm going to provide that in more detail. You can also look at this here. Okay. We go on to our next claim, and we keep following the twin method. Okay, I didn't actually annotate this page. I would really recommend though reading through this paper if you're not sure like what you need to do, because it's a really well written paper, and I think it will provide you with some help and make it seem a little more reasonable to do this exercise. This is a really hard project if you've never done this sort of work, and I don't think you've done this sort of work before, but I think if you see what another student did last year, you'll see that you can do it too. You have the research done. You're getting your thoughts together. You can do this. Like, it's really hard. And I know we're doing this remotely, and that makes it even harder. But I think this is a really great example, and it will give you a lot of help and structure with what you're doing. Okay, so I'm not really I didn't really annotate this much, but you just have good information here. Notice here this article had information from, it was written by two different authors. So you have two last names and you have an ampersand. So you're not going to use the words and, you're going to use the two authors' last names, the ampersand, and then the year here. Okay. I'm just making sure that there's nothing else I need to point out here. Again, this goes to smaller font then because I started writing more comments. So the author then goes from talking about the US data to start comparing the situation with other countries. So you start seeing information here from other countries. And again, they're pulling in more sources of information here. And again, following the Toolman method, but you can have more than two pieces of evidence, okay? You'll see that in this paragraph, they really kept on topic here, the whole paragraph. This might be a little long for a single paragraph, but they kept following the Toolman method in the sense that they had evidence and then an explanation of that evidence. You're building an argument with your evidence to what extent America is exceptional. Okay. We have a really good transition phrase here that references the previous paragraph and then goes on to the point made in this paragraph. And so that's another way you can use transition phrases as well. I'm going to provide you all with a cheat sheet on transition phrases, so please make sure that you're going back and you're using that. That will just make your writing so much more clear. Okay. Again, I don't have many comments here. They just continue following the Toolman method. This paper is a little longer than your paper needs to be, so don't get completely freaked out by the length here. Okay, then they're going on to move on in their paper to talk about why the US numbers are different from the numbers of other countries. So we're really getting into the heart of the argument here. To what extent is America exceptional, and why is that? Okay, again, I don't have comments here, but we do have a really good transition here. Another problem with this is a good transition. And another thing that's really helpful about this paper example is that the author did not use first person in the paper at all. So it's really strong in how it keeps an objective tone throughout this whole piece. Okay, and then we have our concluding paragraph here. We restate this thesis, we have a summary of the points, and then we have a call to action. We should do this in response to this information. It's a really great conclusion. And again, I'm going to provide you with some information. Okay, in this very last part, there's some formatting issues that are actually wrong. For the most part, this is a really good example of a works cited page. Actually, it's a reference page when you're using APA. But this formatted wrong when I converted it to a PDF. So first of all, this reference page should be on a whole separate page. Okay, I mean, like, it's still in the same document, but you're going to move it to its own page where it starts at the top of the page. The formats of these are a little bit off. Like, this should have been indented over. This here, Barclay, should not have been completely capitalized. Like, just the first letter should have been capitalized. And you'll see my advice here. Okay, you are indenting every line except the first line, so they almost become bullet points. So visually, you can really see the separate points. Everything needs to be double spaced, no extra spaces between your sources. Okay, just double spaced. You're going to put your sources in alphabetical order, okay, by the author's last name. Okay, and in the case that you don't have an author, here, if you don't have an author, then you're going to, and this, I'm noticing a mistake here. You're just going to put the title of the article, but you're going to continue putting this in alphabetical order. So this should have been up with the C's for what that's worth. Okay, so that's just an overview of your research paper. Again, I'm going to be providing more specific tutorials. There's also a ton of resources on the Purdue OWL, which is their writing lab, on their website, and I'm going to provide links to those as well. There's also a modeled paper that they have that's annotated, and their annotations, I think, are better than mine. I hate to say that, but they are. They're really good. They're really helpful. I think this paper is more helpful because it's the format and the style and the subject of what you're working on, but their annotations are really helpful with regard to all the kind of style issues of following APA. Again, I'm going to set the due date on this paper so that you have time to get feedback from me, and so that you can do well with that. So thank you all for your work. Please send me questions if you have them, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you all. And my computer is very slow.